Thanks for tuning in to 10 Questions with Tyson, an opportunity for you to get to know the mayoral candidates for Regina. And with me here today, I have Mitchell House. Mitchell, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate your willingness to do this.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Okay.
You bet. It's nice to get to know you a little bit. So let's jump right into it. Why should people vote for you?
Well, I'm the kind of guy that thinks outside of the box. I've always went against the grain and been a contrarian. So, I always just think a little different, which puts me in a different perspective than the other candidates. And I think you need someone like myself with the tools to maneuver through the challenging times. And stuff like that, basically.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem. Well, and let's talk about the challenging times a little bit.
So I was going to say one more thing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
My first interview ever. But yeah, so can maneuver through the challenging times and to do the things that sometimes aren't, so popular. Yeah.
Some of those hard decision things.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of the challenging times, we're in COVID-19. What do you think are the most important issues facing Regina during COVID-19?
Well, it kind of showed how fragile the economy is, meaning like the small businesses and the livelihoods of the people, because of the lockdowns and whatnot. And like just many things, like it's very divisive right now with like regards to like, mask wearing. And it's like
some pretty hot topic items there, obviously.
Yeah, and like even like more government reliance. Like a lot of people rely on the government more. Just kind of not a very good trend to be getting into,
Gotcha.
And then even the city is having, a deficit because of the stadium and things like that. So the stadium is basically the definition of a liability right now. It's
So there's some issues in your mind for sure facing us right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So Mitchell, Regina as it is right now, what would your vision be of Regina in the future? What's your vision for the city?
My vision would be a city with lower crime rate, lower addictions. That's one of the things I want to work on. Like less business regulation, where businesses and entrepreneurs can get into and stay in business easier and are allowed the freedom to flourish and prosper. And we're honest, hardworking people have secured rights and freedoms to pursue happiness. Yeah.
So do you think, specifically on downtown, do you think downtown is healthy and vibrant? And if not, what would you do to change that?
Yeah, no, I don't. Like day by day, there's more for lease signs and for sale signs. So, but it's a trend that's happening, not just here downtown Regina. It's a trend happening everywhere. And COVID and the lockdowns didn't help. It is a complex issue. It has many. It's multifaceted. So the consumer debt levels is very high. There's inflationary prices that are pushing prices up, and there's going to be less customers if things are more expensive. There's more online competition and just things of that nature. Like it's, like I said, multifaceted. So the only thing that like the city could do with, which is what I would do as mayor, is again, kind of tackle the municipal business regulations. Just start cutting the red tape, make it easier for entrepreneurs and less expensive to get into and stay in business, and just make it easier for event holders that want to put on events to have events. And again, with regards to development, like Jerry Flagel, he's always going on about buildings and stuff. And of course, everything's on the table with me. So I just got to make sure it's good for the taxpayer. For example, I'd collect a security deposit based on some sort of formula so the taxpayer isn't stuck with another huge bill, like it was at Capital Point. And, that's basically what I do, is just try to make it easier for people to have events and to get into business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'd work with the provincial government to do the same with, business regulations.
So cutting that red tape, make it easier to do business.
Yeah, exactly.
So kind of taking on that a little bit, economically, what would you do? What would you focus on to create a stronger Regina?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I would do, is just get rid of the red tape. I mean, a lot of it. Like, I talked to a small business owner that has a bakery, and she had to spend $30,000 to $40,000 more on a bathroom for disabled people. I'm for disabled people, by the way. But my point is that she can't hire disabled people just because of all the machinery and things like this. So it's just impossible for her to do that.
I see.
And also, it's not open because it's a bakery. It's actually not open to the public. So there's no reason for her, in reality, to be spending $30,000 to $40,000 extra dollars just, for a bathroom that no disabled person is going to use.
I see.
So again, just cutting out things like that,
So as mayor, you would look at changing some of those rules and regulations in place for businesses to help. I see.
Exactly.
Here's a bit of a softball for you, and hopefully a fun one. What do you love most about Regina? What is it about our city that you love?
I love the people. Yeah, love the people. And I love the warm summer nights. Yeah, it's nothing like a warm summer night in Regina.
Something about it, hey? The people and the warmth.
Yeah,
So transitioning a little bit, Regina, we are here on Treaty 4 territory. And acknowledging that, what is truth and reconciliation? What does it mean to you? And how would you plan on addressing healing in our city?
Well, I actually live in North Central. And, my best friend and neighbor is Indigenous. Just more communication between their culture and ours, and every culture, basically. I guess my point is, maybe we can start out by defining truth and reconciliation. So, we all know what truth is, right? It is basically means what is, right? And so it's important that people do know the truth of what occurred with the residential schools. And it's my understanding that it is taught in the Regina public school system, as it should be, even though it's it's a tough pill to swallow, what occurred, but it's still the truth. It's Canadian history, and it should be known, I think, and I'd support that for sure. Yeah. And the Indigenous population is very intelligent, they're very strong, and very resilient. So they just they need to know that their voice matters. And speaking of a voice matters, there's a book by, it's Wab Canoe, and it's called Go Show the World. And it's just a very inspirational book about Indigenous heroes from the past. I don't know if you've heard of it, have you?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay. Yeah, Wab Canoe, he's like a politician, and he has some inspirational rap videos too. And, just doing that. So actually, if I get elected mayor, I'd like to take that book and read it in a community center in my neighborhood of North Central, and everyone's welcome of all creed and, culture. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Thank you.
Let's pack the house.
There you go. Socially distant.
Yeah, maybe. People can decide if they want masks.
Fair enough. Homelessness. It continues to be an issue in Regina and a problem for so many. How would you plan on addressing homelessness specifically in our city?
Well, the Regina taxpayers, they participate in funding the Regina Housing Authority, which is a provincial agency, but the Regina taxpayer still gives money to that agency. So we're doing that currently. And there's many causes to homelessness. There's uneducation, there's addiction, there's family issues, a lot of things. So what I would say is the Regina taxpayer can't do it all, right? It's, a very big feat. I'm going to be learning more about that one when I meet the Regina Police Association next week. I'm going to be asking about homelessness to learn more. But it really starts at the personal responsibility level, like with the addiction. I know it's easier said than done, and mending family issues and things like that. But what I would do is I would encourage the private sector to get involved. Like individuals can donate or give a couch out, entrepreneurs I'm sure that they can come up with something, to kind of address homelessness in some form.
So you see it kind of as a working together with each person and each entity kind of working together to.
Yeah, one of my platforms is to get more community involvement. So yeah, there's charity, there's non-governmental organizations such as religious organizations. There's a lot. I just know that we have to get the private sector involved because the Regina taxpayer can't fund it all. It's just not possible. But I actually don't know the full extent of the homelessness situation, but I'm going to be talking to the Regina Police more about that next week. So hopefully I can learn more. But
and it's great that you're willing to learn. So moving on to the second to last, Economic Development Regina released a 10-year plan for economic growth on October the 1st, and it speaks to Regina being competitive, vibrant, inclusive and welcoming, sustainable and collaborative. What are your thoughts on the release plan? I'm not sure if you've had a chance to go through it, but what are your thoughts on the plan itself?
I haven't read it myself, but I've been briefed on it. I know that there's a lot of work that went into it, and it's always good to have a plan for the future. It's just, my understanding is that it was kind of strategized before COVID even happened. And so right now we're in kind of a new economic environment because there's high unemployment, there's the individual, corporate, and even government debt bubble that's it's not sustainable. It's kind of reaching its limits. And so I think borrowers are going to be kind of demanding more for borrowing, higher interest rates. I don't think the Bank of Canada is going to be able to keep the lid on the interest rates. They're trying to keep it down, and we'll just see what happens. But I think a lot of my campaign opponents, they're of an older generation, they're the baby boomers, the majority of them. And I don't know if they understand the full new economic environment that we're in. They're kind of used to a 40-year decline of interest rates. And so now it might even reverse and start going higher, and which will cause small businesses and people that are really levered up to have big problems.
Gotcha.
So I don't think that economic development Regina plan is totally relevant now, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. And I know that they did a lot of work to it. I'm just kind of wondering how much it actually costs the taxpayer to do, because it was 21 stakeholders and 200 residents at 16 roundtables and 1,600 online participants. It must have been a massive feat. So kind of wondering how many millions it would have cost to actually do that. And it's just unfortunate that COVID did happen, because it makes it a little bit more irrelevant and a wasted taxpayer dollars. But
I see.
Like I said, it's probably better than nothing. Yeah, it's good we're thinking forward. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, exactly.
So my last question, being a Regina resident yourself, where are some of the favorite places that you have to go to, and what makes them so great? It's an awesome opportunity to put some plugs in, maybe for some places that you enjoy.
Well, I'm a really simple guy, so yeah, I just like going for a bike ride or a walk around Wascana Park with a friend, or just myself listening to some music or whatever, or some podcast. And I like downtown because I grew up here and I have a lot of memories downtown. I used to climb up some buildings and stuff for the fire escapes when I was young.
I see.
Watch a movie downtown, get pumped up, and go climb some buildings. Just like Spider-Man. So
there you go.
Yeah,
some of your favorite places.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore, but.
Well, Mitchell, thanks so much for coming on and for allowing people to get to know you a little bit. I wish you the best of luck in this mayoral election. Thanks so much for tuning in, and make sure you get out and vote on November 9th and have your say of who you think should be the next mayor of Regina.